Right, great. So now we come to the fun bit. We've learned all the notes, and now what we want to do is lift this music off the page. We want to turn it into something that people are going to enjoy listening to, and more importantly, that you are going to enjoy playing as a piece of music. You're not working in a factory. We're not a dot factory just producing dots on a page. We are producing music, emotions that are interesting to listen to. So let's have a look. Let's get overhead. There we go. Let's move back to the first line again. There we have it. And now we've got something which actually, if you just play it like it's written, is quite drab. So what we want to do with something like Diabelli, we want to make it nice and light, bouncy, delicate. Now, the thing is, the first three notes are three Cs. The thing about that is, you cannot make the same note to the same note, legato. In other words, when we play from one note to another, there's a join between them. They are joined together, there's no gap. But you can't do that when you're on the same pitch, unless you put your foot down on the pedal. It's not quite what we're after at this point though. So what do you do when you can't make something legato but there are no marks over the top of it to suggest what else you might do? Well, we go the other way. We're going to detach a little bit more, make it a bit more staccato, make it a bit more bouncy. So instead of trying to hold these notes on as long as possible, we're just going to lean into the whole can't do it legato thing, and we're just going to bounce them like that. So bounce with your wrist, and it's about this bounce with your wrist. It's almost like you're swimming and you're pushing your way through water, and as you press down on the note, you push up as if the keys are water that you're pushing against. And this hand movement is going to really lighten your tone, and it's just going to make it much less plonky than it otherwise would have sounded. In bar 2, of course, we can do a nice slur, and it's important at this point that the first note is louder than the second one, because there's nothing worse than like that. It's horrific, isn't it? So call the music, please. So I would lean on the first note in the second bar a little bit, make that your kind of your peak of your little phrase, if you like, your little 4-note phrase. Lean on it a little bit, and then we go from a kind of a louder to a slightly softer, like that, and then you get a really nicely shaped phrase. And then we do the same thing with the next one. And the next one, we've now got this. Not got my glasses on, can't see the finger number. So the next one, we're going to shape that. We'll do a nice bounce on the 2 E's, and let's shape it. Let's make it breathe a little bit. Let's go out and back in again, like that. And rather than, which is just basically nailing getting a hammer and nailing a nail into a shed, really. Let's shape that. And even though we can actually play that smooth at that point, I would suggest to balance the whole thing up, because we've been doing that, then at the end we may as well go and treat them as if they were staccato. Of course, you're free to play these pieces any way you like, as long as you don't just play the dots. But that would be my recommendation. So we have this nice kind of a lot more shapely than if we just play the dots. So you can kind of practice these shapes, practice these bounces, these wrist bounces, and we'll do a very similar thing with the second section in a moment. So you can move on to the second part of this quite quickly, because we're doing basically the same thing. So I'll see you in a mo, and we'll have a quick go through that. So take care now. Bye bye.